Good morning. Glad to be here with you. And I probably look a little tired because I am, but we're here. And, I am sure that if you're like me, you are experiencing a lot of difficult feelings around our democratic process. I know I've heard people say, in social media, I've heard friends say, family members say, could somebody just put me to sleep and wake me up when this is over? But it doesn't appear that that's how it works. We have to move through this. And I know that it's incredibly stressful for people. We're struggling a lot with the pandemic and the sense of isolation that brings to so many people. Being alone too much. And if that's what's happening for you, I really do wish you that this meditation could bring some relief or some space for you to connect. It seems like mindfulness is like a solitary path. But actually, it's really not. We read this week that even someone like Albert Einstein recognized that the real trap of human consciousness is to believe in our separateness more than we believe in our connectedness. And that, in his view, as a scientist and as a physicist, and perhaps as some kind of spiritual person, he comes to the conclusion that our consciousness needs to be liberated to open up to a sense of connection. But what we find out, and this is one of the hardest things I've encountered as a therapist, is that the first connection has to be with our own feelings. And that's oftentimes what's lost when we feel alone. For example, when children feel alone and uncared for, and the feelings of that are, there's anger and sadness and fear and sometimes even guilt or shame. It kind of bubbles up because alone is not, especially if there's an aloneness that comes, on the heels of something really difficult or in the context of something really difficult. When I was a child, if you were in the hospital, you were alone. Not really the way we do it now. There's a reason for that. Because when children experience that overload of emotions, they need someone. And if they're alone, then they need to suppress their feelings. If their family isn't tuned into them, they need to suppress their feelings. And maybe we all have experienced that to some degree. A disconnect from our own emotional life. So one of the ways I think about mindfulness practice is, we can connect with each other, but first we have to reestablish our connection with self. And non-judgmental self-awareness is the only way to open up to our own emotional life. I've heard John Kabat-Zinn talk about providing mindfulness retreats to like high-level business folk. And one of the things he shared in one talk he gave, I witnessed, he said that frequently when he gathers with these really busy business people to practice mindfulness, he'll say at the beginning, I don't want to say a word. Let's just be quiet for 10 minutes. And people are like, what? And then he just goes into quiet. And he said invariably, a handful of people just start weeping, just start sobbing or crying silently. And when he processes that with the group, oftentimes what he finds out is that people feel so alone with their emotions and they never slow down. They use busyness as a way to avoid self. And sitting in silence, their feelings are right there. And they're so sad that they never do that. That they feel alone in their busy work world. So it can happen in so many ways, this sense of isolation and cut off. And if you're feeling that right now in the pandemic, if you're feeling inadequate support from other people, if you're having trouble in your family, if you're, um, and then we have this big social, political kind of process unfolding. And there's a lot of scary news out there, scary possibilities, very emotional for all of us. And so it makes sense that we gather to sit and make space for the fact that we are, life is difficult and it brings up difficult emotions. So the emotions that are natural to us are we can feel angry, we can feel sad, we can feel afraid, and we can feel guilty or even ashamed, lonely. And in those emotions, it would often seem that, well, I'm going to meditate all that away. Well, no, not really. Because if we encounter ourselves just as we are, that's part of it. So I like to think of meditation as a practice that actually makes more room for my emotional self. And what's true about our nature is, like, if you have a validating conversation with another human being, somebody who's really there for you, and you tell them how mad and sad and afraid and guilty you feel, there's there's a relief. And then what flows in with that are feelings of gratitude, even a certain kind of happiness that I'm not alone, that someone's with me, someone understands, a sense of security, feelings of safety, and even a sense of pride, healthy, positive emotions about my own life. And we don't get to those by bypassing the difficult feelings. So one of my favorite mindfulness practices, I've done this before on retreats or with groups of people, is to, one group I led, and we took 30 minutes and we paired up and people took a walk and they just set a little timer. So the first half of the walk, one person was mindfully listening. And the second half of the walk, the other person, they switched roles. So mindful listening is a practice that is right next to meditation. So if I'm with myself in meditation, listening inside to who I am and what's going on for me in that moment, and I'm not trying to fix it so much as I'm really making space to be with it, I might find that same ability to bring that to someone else, to look in someone's eyes, listen to the tone of their voice, hear how they're feeling, and really make space for that. Listen, take it in. No advice given, no direction set, just pure, compassionate, emotional awareness. And what flows from that is a natural feeling of joy. Grateful, happy, secure feelings, prideful feelings, not prideful in the negative sense, but a glow, a feeling, a positive feeling about self. So let's remember as we meditate this morning, we'll keep it simple. But what if we meditate really with the intention that this awareness that we're waking up in ourselves is meant to make room for our own feelings and the feelings of anyone who wants to be with us, anyone who wants to tell us about their feelings. And believe me, we're imperfect at it. I'm imperfect. Sometimes people's emotional lives are hard to be with. Sometimes our own emotional life is difficult. And right now, what would it be like for us if we knew that as we go through this process with the election and the pandemic, we knew that our commitment to be there for each other was strong, and that our commitment to be there for ourselves is strong. And we could stay awake through all of it, stay awake and aware, present and compassionate, and also empowered. So those feelings that come from connection are empowering feelings. They say to people, I matter. Life matters, how things go matters, and it prepares us to take action in the world. So very emotional times, very potentially isolating times. So as we come together, let's meditate on making space for our own difficult feelings and the feelings of others, and a space that cultivates the joy that's needed to get us through. So once again, coming to this moment and getting in touch with your body and the posture you wish for yourself, and noticing the sense of the ground beneath you. The sense of being present to this moment and this place where you are. This is your spot in the universe, right here on this planet, surrounded by life that's exchanging what's needed all the time. So each breath you take, it's a gift from the plants in your world. And each breath you give out is a gift back to them. There's an exchange all around you. It keeps you alive. So sensing this moment and the ground beneath you, your place in the universe, this is your spot. And bringing an intention to this practice of making space for yourself just as you are. And making space for the others in your world. A place of acceptance and compassionate attention. Life is difficult, so we take this time. And we can begin by having the wherewithal to check in with ourselves. So, checking in with yourself in a way, taking a very broad perspective of how are you doing, speaking to yourself. So, not trying to change yourself, just greeting yourself just as you are. Maybe you're aware of any pain that's there or any pleasure in your body and mind. Maybe you're aware that there's either difficult emotions or positive feelings or a mix of the two. So just noticing for yourself, making space and awareness for you to be just as you are in this moment. Noticing and greeting yourself. And then gathering your awareness and bringing it to focus on the sensations of breath that occur in your abdomen. No need to change your breath. Your attention may change it. It may slow down, or it may stay just as it is. Just notice this breath in, this breath out, felt in your belly, expanding and contracting. Staying present to each breath in and each breath out, allowing your thoughts to step into the background as your breath takes center stage in your awareness, felt in your body, right there in your abdomen. And then seeing if it's possible to open up your awareness to your whole body, each breath flowing all the way into every corner of your physical being, each breath emptying out of your whole body. And staying present to the breath and the body as best you can. Letting your awareness zoom in and out of different sensations as they show up. Each in-breath and acceptance of this moment. Each out-breath being fully present as best you can. Bringing awareness to the body and breath. Letting thoughts fall into the background. Even if they're busy, while you stay with each breath in and each breath out. And now, if you wish, moving beyond body and breath a little bit by bringing some words into your practice. These words are my suggestion, and you can use your own words if you wish. Words that make space for yourself as an emotional being with difficulty and with joy, both real. And starting with some simple words. On the in-breath, life is difficult. On the out-breath, I'm here with you. Speaking to yourself. Speaking to your own feelings. Life is difficult. I'm here with you. And just noticing the effect of this intention to make space for your real feelings, the difficult side of them. Life is hard. I'm here with you. And then, if it feels right for you, to look at the other side. Even in the hardest of times, many gifts come to us. And we can honestly say to ourselves, life is a gift on the in breath. I celebrate with you. The intention to cultivate feelings of gratitude and happiness, pride, and a sense of security when it comes your way. Life is a gift. I celebrate with you. I'm lingering with those words for a while. You're not trying to force any feeling, but cultivating awareness, opening up. And then seeing what it's like for you if you take this same intention and hold it for the other people in your life. Life is hard. I'm here for you. Noticing what it's like to make space for other people in their difficulties. And then letting that go and noticing what it's like for you. Thinking about the other people in your world. To hold the awareness, life is a gift. I celebrate with you. And as we bring this practice towards its close, seeing if it's possible for you to breathe in and out of this simple intention, to be present to the difficulty of life compassionately, and to enter into the joy of life. Holding both as real. Really being there for yourself and being there for others. so that each breath in is opening up to the difficulty and the joy of being human. Each breath out, a commitment to be present, to respond. I know that each one of us has the capacity to make these connections and cultivate them with ourselves and with others. It's our humanity. It's kind of our highest calling. It's the thing that's going to be remembered. So thank you for being here and cultivating this little bit of practice. If you like any of these meditations, if they're helpful to you, make sure to like them on the YouTube page, which is at the bottom of the screen. Subscribe to this channel and share it with others who might find it helpful. I hope you find people to be with. I know sometimes it's hard to do that. So thanks for being here. Thanks that we could be together this morning. See you tomorrow.